Hi everyone. The tools and materials that I use for watercolor sketching and travel are slightly different from my studio setup for painting watercolors. In this video, I'll discuss what I use for travel and sketching. The primary reason why my studio setup is different from my outdoor sketching setup is it's important to travel light. So my watercolor sketching setup represents a compacted version of my studio setup. Use this video as your supply list for watercolor sketching and painting outdoors. My moleskin sketch pad, beautiful sketch pad to work with. My watercolor palette is a small little palette for working outside, very convenient. Travel brushes, these are beautiful. These are Da Vinci travel brushes, and I use a number 4 and a number 6. The beauty of this is I wet the tip, I shook it out so it confined the sable hairs, put it in, throw it in my pocket, and no fear of damaging the delicate hairs of the brush. I also try to keep a rigger with me to do fine lines. This is not an expensive brush, but it does the job. To lay in the sketch, I like these. It's a number 2 standard pencil. And of course, standard in my toolbox is always a small little squeeze bottle for dispensing water. I keep my sketching palette relatively simple. And in this one, I have yellow ochre, cobalt blue, French ultramarine blue, here's another French ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, Winsor red, aureolin yellow, Winsor yellow very deep, brown madder, quinacridone magenta, burnt sienna, phthalo blue, and neutral tint. And these I'm going to wipe off before I start painting so I have clean mixing surfaces. I also like to keep a small little tray like this because I'm most comfortable working in a tray like that. And often, in fact you can see, I squeeze out quantities of primary colors in the tray that I can freely mix. And it's actually fairly simple to clean the surface here. All I do is, I'm not going to do it now because I want to keep this paint, but I squirt it down and I lightly mist the colors that are there and can dab off any other colors that may be polluting them. So this is a wonderful way to mix your colors. Huge mixing surface. I believe what is critically important to watercolor painting is to have good large mixing surfaces and deep color bins to keep the color clean. This provides such a surface. And a squirt bottle. Lately I've been applying water to my palettes using this type of bottle. I always have a nice clean supply ready to go. And a container to clean your brushes. When you're outside traveling though and you don't have a container, this is a wonderful way to clean your brush. A variety of sponges, they always come in handy. And to do the sketch, I work with a kneaded eraser when it's time to clean it up. A couple of miscellaneous items that I also include in my toolbox is this Signo pigmented white ink pen for making white marks. This is only for sketching. I never use this on my larger watercolor paintings, but in my sketchbook, and here, let's go to a particular issue that I ran into with this one right here, and look closely and I could show you what I use the Signo white pen for. Now normally if this was a large piece, I probably would have used masking to protect all the areas that I wanted white, because I really do adhere to the traditional classic method of transparent watercolor painting, and the white you get in my painting are the white of the paper. For example, the sky, the cloud here is the white of the paper, and most of the white you see. But these ice and snow formations take on interesting linear qualities that required either masking out or, in this case, since it's a small sketch in a pad, I use the Signo pigmented white ink pen to achieve that. And that's the marks you see here. Let's take a closer look. There you go. You can see what I did. It's a wonderful solution to achieving that kind of detail in your sketch pad. Another pen that I use is the Pentel black ink pen. It's a beautiful pen, and I use this primarily for sketching, but I'll often incorporate black linear elements into my watercolor sketches. This is a sketch I did at Johnston Canyon, and it started out with this, and then I simply filled it in with watercolor. Here's another one. I was actually sitting on the back porch of a room that we rented, and these were some trees and some kind of little drainage bin and pine trees. Quick sketch. And it was begun with this. Once again, the back porch of the room, and I started it as a sketch with this and then stained it with the watercolor. An additional tool that I use quite often is the X-Acto knife, and I will use this to scratch in highlights. Additional brushes that I use for lifting out paint are bristle brushes. I usually have 1 or 2 bristle brushes with me, and this enables me to rub into a dampened area and lift out paint. And of course, the incredible nib. Another tool for lifting out color. You could even apply color with this. I'm not going into detailed descriptions of any of these here because you'll actually see me use them in videos. And something I like to take on the road with me are these Pentel Aqua pens or Aqua brushes. And I'm good to go into another color. Look at that. Beautiful invention. Clean it out. And we'll go into some Windsor blue. And allow the colors to intermix on their own. Now I take out this very strong dye-like color and I can easily clean it out of my Pentel Aqua brush. Good. And they come with nice little caps. I prefer the large size. They come in 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large, and in my opinion, the only effective size. The small is just too tiny for me to work with, and the medium, so-so. This is good. And I throw everything into my green bag. Pencil. Kneaded eraser. Fold this up. Get it in there. I like to travel light. The moleskin sketch pad. With my water bottle, the squeezed water bottle, I just make sure I keep that locked in the closed position so it doesn't leak. I also test these bottles to make sure it's not defective. I don't want water going all over the place. And I always put it in the outside of my bag, not in the inside. And not on the side where I put the sketch pad. I've never had a problem, but you can't be too careful. An additional idea would be to seal it in a Seal-A-Meal bag. So guarantee it's not going to leak all over the place. The sponges. The other water bottle. Take a piece of saran wrap and seal the top, and then close it. The water ain't going to leak out. If I'm taking this, it will fit. And I'm good to go. Okay, now I'm going to head out somewhere and do some sketching.